For so many CPA firms, the business model just it feels stuck, right? It's this constant cycle of surviving the absolute chaos of tax season and then just trying to catch your breath the rest of the year. So today, we're going to dig into a blueprint to finally break that cycle. We're talking about how to build a firm that isn't just busy, but is genuinely, truly resilient.
Okay, so let's just start with a really fundamental question. Be honest with yourself here. Is your firm working harder or is it working smarter? Now, I know that sounds super simple, but the answer, it reveals everything. It tells you whether your business is actually built for long-term stability or if it's just quietly piling up risk right under your nose. And look, we all know the signs, don't we? That sinking feeling of a missed deadline. Seeing your best senior staff member just completely exhausted. Getting that email from a frustrated client. It is so easy to just write these off as, the cost of doing business. But here's the thing. What if they're not just random, isolated incidents? What if they're all little red flags, all symptoms pointing to the exact same, deeper problem?
Well, that problem is the hidden risk that's kind of baked right into the traditional do-everything in-house model. The one that so many firms were built on for decades. It's a model that, let's be real, is showing some serious signs of strain in today's world.
And this right here, this is the huge perception gap that so many firms are living in. On the surface, everything looks fine, even great. You've got a solid reputation, a team of real experts. But underneath all that, below the waterline, that we've always done it this way mindset is hiding some pretty scary operational risks. It's exactly like an iceberg. It's the massive part you don't see that can really sink you.
So what are these hidden vulnerabilities we're talking about? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like a Jenga tower. All your critical knowledge, it's concentrated in just a few key people. So what happens when one of those people leaves? The whole structure wobbles. Suddenly, you've got critical staffing gaps right in the middle of tax season. Your payroll and benefit costs are creeping up. You have zero flexibility for those unexpected workload spikes. The entire system is just fragile. It's ready to come crashing down the second you pull out the wrong piece. Okay, so that's the problem, right? This is where the solution really starts to take shape. And it's all about a fundamental shift in how you think. This isn't just about getting some new software or tweaking a process. No, it's about building a completely different, much more resilient operational structure. It's about finally working smarter. And the core of this new, resilient structure? It's something called strategic outsourcing. Now hang on, because this is not the old school idea of just, offloading a few tasks to save a couple of bucks. Not at all. This is a deliberate strategic move. It's about integrating external teams to do three very specific things: distribute your risk, enhance your capabilities, and build genuine, long-term resilience into the very DNA of your firm. Now, whenever you have this conversation, the topic of India inevitably comes up. But the reason why it comes up has totally changed. The old way of thinking was all about cost savings. That's it. But the modern strategic reason, it boils down to one word: capability. The sheer depth of talent and expertise that's available today, it's an absolute game changer.
So what does that advantage actually look like in practice? Well, it means you can tap into a massive talent pool that's already trained in U.S. accounting and tax. It means you can leverage teams that have this incredible culture of process and documentation, which can actually improve your own quality control. It gives you the power to scale up your team almost instantly for peak season, and you're getting people with a deep familiarity with U.S. compliance standards. See, it's not just outsourcing anymore. It's about creating a true, natural extension of your own firm. And all of this brings us to the real prize, the ultimate goal here. Look, saving time is great. Nobody's going to argue with that. But the true strategic value we're talking about is resilience. It's about building a firm that can take a punch, that can withstand shocks, sudden changes, and all the intense pressures of the modern accounting world without breaking. This really gets to the absolute heart of the mindset shift. The common tactical view says outsourcing saves time. It's a Band-Aid, right? A temporary fix for tax season. But the strategic value is so much bigger. It says outsourcing reduces risk. It's not just about workload. It's about ensuring business continuity. It's not a temporary fix. It's a permanent competitive advantage. It's the difference between patching a crack and rebuilding the entire foundation.
Okay, that's the big picture. So where do you start? Where do you get the biggest bang for your buck? Well, the data points to three key areas. Number one, tax return preparation support. This is huge because it frees up your senior, high-value U.S. staff from all that data entry so they can focus on client strategy and final review. Number 2, accounting and bookkeeping operations. This just builds a consistent, reliable engine that runs in the background of your firm. And number 3, my favorite, all that cleanup, catch-up, and compliance work. You know, those messy projects that always seem to derail your entire team? Now they can get handled without blowing up your core workflow.
Okay, but let's be clear about something. None of this works if you don't do it right. Success isn't about just throwing tasks over the wall and hoping for the best. It's all about true integration. It's about building a real, genuine partnership.
There's this quote that just absolutely nails it. Successful firms don't hand off work, they integrate it. And that integration, it takes work. It requires a real partnership that's built on things like detailed workflows, secure systems, crystal clear timelines, and constant communication. The goal here is to make the external team feel like a totally seamless extension of your own.
All right, let's quickly bust some of the most common myths that hold so many firms back. Myth number 1, we'll lose control. The reality? Nope. You keep full control of the process and, most importantly, the final review. Myth number 2, this only works for the big firms. Actually, the opposite is often true. Small and mid-sized firms are way more agile and can often see results even faster. And the biggest myth of all, the quality will drop. In reality, quality often improves because this whole process forces you to finally document and standardize everything.
So here's the bottom line. In today's completely chaotic market, just being good at accounting, it's not enough anymore. The firms that are truly going to thrive are the ones that are operationally resilient. They're like lighthouses in the middle of a storm. And that stability, that ability to deliver consistently, no matter what gets thrown at you, that has become the single biggest competitive advantage you can have.
And that really just leaves us with one final question for you to think about. Take a hard look at your own operations, at your team's workload, at your plans for the future, and ask yourself, right now, is your firm built for burnout, where every single tax season pushes everyone to the absolute brink? Or is it built for sustainable, resilient growth? The choice really is yours.